Hey, get the dog.
What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm According to Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion Pius Enola Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And last night we had the UFC fight night: Calvin Kattar versus Chikadze.
Chikadze.
Yeah, I want to go do a dollop of Daisy. That's what I got in my head. But yeah, I mean, this might as well have been decision mania. Now, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
for those who were joining us on Thursday night, we knew there was a lot more kind of etched for this fight card that ended up either getting pulls or fighters withdrew and whatever. We had a 10 fight card, but out of the 10 fights on this card, um, two were finishes. That's it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, we got
yeah.
one KO, or TKO. I mean that liver shot by the Russian fella, and then a rear naked choke. And to
Mm-hmm.
Kaya pal, happy New Year, my sister. I'm here, guys. Marquise too. Shout out
What's
to
up, Keith? That's
yeah,
my
man.
boy Marquise right there. What's up, Marquise?
Yeah, man. What's up, Marquise?
Yeah.
There you go. I'm yeah. And so here we go. We've got the very first fight of the night. We have a decision. It was downtown TJ Brown taking the win against Charles Boston Strong Rosa. Uh,
Mhm.
you know what? I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but aside from the oh god, aside from the senior perfecto match and the Chikugian and Collier match, like
Right.
I only missed like 3 or 4 picks.
If that many.
Yeah,
If that many. Because
yeah,
TJ Brown went in there and he was like, hey. I don't know what y'all was talking about this Charles Rosa. He said, Voodoo, I don't know what you're talking about this Charles Rosa. Because I'm coming in here and I'm about to show you a little bit of mixed martial arts. And that's exactly what he did. He went up in there, showed some very good wrestling, excellent ground control for 15 minutes, 3 rounds, and he won the match. It was what it was. There wasn't any smashing. There wasn't any smashing, intense damage. But in the spirit of mixed martial art, he did what he had to do to win, and he won. Excellent wrestling by T.J. Brown.
yep. Downtown DJ Brown, right? Part Filipino wonder. And you know what? The MVP of this card has to be James Krause out of Glory MMA, right? Because this motherfucker was every fight. It looked like every
Mm-hmm.
fight he was
Mm-hmm.
in. Like
Yep.
he was doing the corner, and it was weird because Zach Cummings along with James Krause that runs Glory MMA out in Missouri, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He just got caught earlier in the week, but
Mm-hmm.
no worse for wear. You got James Krause, basically, literally up and down the card. He was like Jimmy Hart at WrestleMania 3. Or no, I'm sorry,
Hey,
Bobby Heenan, WrestleMania 3.
not only was he all over that damn card, he was all over that show as well. That Finding a Fighter by Dana White or whatever.
Yeah.
What he was in that show too. He's all over the place, man. The young man is a coach, a fighter, and a trendsetter. I'm very proud of his accomplishments.
No, 100%, 100%. And TK Pal says, "What's poppin', bro?" And actually, it's Marquise. So there you go. Uh, now, Michael Mackey over on Twitch says, "Why does Novak Djokovic use Mastercard? Because he has no visa."
That's a
Yes.
good one.
There we go. And please stream on YouTube. Nothing there. How to say you're not subscribed to the Voodoo in the Woods YouTube page without actually saying it? That's exactly how. Or also bodyslam.net. It's not on the Accord in the Woods page, but Voodoo in the Woods and bodyslam.net are being simulcast. So,
That's right,
yeah,
Michael. That's right, Michael. Like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Wood podcast.
yes.
Believe it.
Absolutely, and that might be a little bit more entertaining than this card. I mean, the decision mania is what I'm calling it, brother. Uh, and yet another decision. We had Brian Boom Kelleher over Kevin Kroom, and Kevin Kroom is crashed. I want him to be Kevin the Goon Kroom, but regardless of that, such uh, Kelleher, I mean, like literally mollywopping, crew, not even close. I mean, there were
Mhm.
shades of, there were a couple times where Kroom did get in the pocket and fire some nasty shots to the chin of Kelleher, but literally on the feet, on the ground, there was a lot of times that Kelleher could have finished this fight, and it just seemed like, the will of Kelleher was, I mean, the will of Kroom, even in a losing effort, it seemed like he didn't want to quit.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, just like the first match, match number two was exactly the same route. Brian Kelleher understands that when I'm fighting someone who isn't a big name like myself, actually, Brian was a bigger name in this match. The
Yep.
only thing that he had to secure was that victory, and he went out and did that by using excellent mixed martial arts. He used every tool available to win this match. He took the fight to the ground. He struck when he had to. He struck less than he grappled, right? Because his opponent was taller and longer and rangier. So he took him to the ground, put him on the fence, took him to the ground, and pretty much stole the match. This is what you do. You bully the other guy. You bully him and you take the W, right? It's about stringing together W so you can get those big fights that you want. So Brian Boom Boom Keller, excellent job.
Absolutely. And Michael Mackey says, according to Woods, has no live stream. Yes, again, because Voodoo in the Woods streams to Voodoo in the
Voodoo in
Woods,
the
and
woods, baby.
yes,
Voodoo
and
in the woods.
bodyslam.net. So there you go. But
Oh,
also,
by the way, Michael, you're doing a great job following according to Woods. Now you go back out there and you follow Voodoo in the Woods.
there it
Like,
is.
share, subscribe, share with all your buddies.
Yeah, out there in Australia, and that's why he made the Dajakovic deal, because he has insider information, because it's
That's
his
right.
country that's I guess fucking it up for the gentleman. And
Hey,
Mick
they're
Mack
not
says
playing out there, man. They're not
no,
playing out there with the COVID situation, with
yes,
the getting people injected and all that. They don't play,
yes,
man.
no,
Hey,
not
hey,
playing.
hey, hey, we will put you in holding tanks. We will put you in concentration camps if we have to. We will kidnap you like China and put you in little boxes if you do not get the jab. And if you think you're gonna come from some foreign country into our country and you're not gonna take the shot, you can't play tennis, goddammit. You can't play tennis here. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah,
Get the hell out of here.
yeah. Mick Mack, who might also be Michael Mackey over on Twitch, says, "Hi, everyone is happy here, and well, I can't work without the vaccine. I'd be
I
I'd be
understand.
fucked here." And also, you mentioned about little boxes and being cramped and everything like that. R.I.P. Bob Saget, who got laid to rest on
That's
Friday.
right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right.
So shout out to Bob Saget, Danny Tanner forever. Hell yes, man. So this one's for you, Bob.
Yeah, straight
So
up.
with that all being said, Court McGee beating and basically uh, taking the wins away from Ramiz Baramaj in terms of the UFC. In the UFC, Baramaj had been undefeated up until he faced a tough and durable Court McKee, uh,
Mm-hmm.
who Ultimate Fighter alumnus, a Ultimate Fighter winner, but took a long sabbatical away from the cage because of injury. He was. I mean, he fought a couple times in uh, 2000. I mean, obviously, this is somebody who has been in it uh, pretty much since Jesus Christ. Yeah, Ultimate Fighter finale
2007,
was way back
something
in
like that.
2010. 2010.
10. Okay.
Yeah, 2010. And even the people that are in this, this season of the Ultimate Fighter, Seth Brzezinski. Nick Ring, and a lot of people forgot about Nick Ring, Canadian gentleman. One of my favorites during that deal. He had a short stint in the UFC before they sent him packing. James Hammertree, who was it was a pretty big personality on the Ultimate Fighter house. Chris McRae, Ryan Jensen, Brad Tavares,
Still
and
around.
right, and in there with Josh Neer, beat Bobby
Jensen.
Knuckles, Robert Whitaker, right?
Hmm.
He's been in there with some of the best that the division has to offer, but took a little bit of sabbatical after the Ryan Flair fight from 2013 to 2015, right? And then fought a couple times, and was actually 0-3 in recent times against Diego Lima, Sean Brady, and Carlos Condit, respectively, right? And his match with Condit, a little bit of a legends match because both were coming back to the UFC after long sabbaticals, right? But losing that, they gave him one more shot against Claudio Silva, wins that one, and then
Hmm.
takes the victory away from Ramirez for the
Hmm.
first time in his UFC career. Talk about
Hmm.
Court McGee.
Hey, Court McGee, man. Hey, all you have to do is give that dude one more chance, and he's gonna string together some wins. You know. Excuse me. What we have here is a situation where we have old Court McGee. He's gonna be the stepping stone to this young Ramirez, and Court McGee says, I'm not ready to give this up yet. I am a UFC veteran. I'm still waiting for that $1 million bonus, which ain't never coming, by the way. But he still has something to prove, and he still has children that needs to be fed. So he's gonna go out there and do whatever he has to do to win. And the performance of Court McGee on this very day was phenomenal. He struck very well. His grappling was phenomenal. His fence work was phenomenal. Everything he did was just perfect. He out grappled the grappler. He almost submitted the grappler. If he had one more round, he would have got the finish, and it would have been beautiful.
Not just that, right? We basically have the best version physically of Court McGee. Court McGee,
Hmm.
I mean, kind of repping Utah and going into Colorado at the elevation fight team, or actually I take that back. It's the pit fight team, the pit elevation fight team, what have you. But that motherfucker looked like a Rocky Mountain. He looked like
Hmm.
just yoked up, and
Hmm.
he almost
Hmm.
looked like obviously that weight class's version of Shane Carwin, the
Yeah,
former
yeah.
UFC interim champion that hailed from the same region, right, in
Hmm.
Colorado, still
Hmm.
calls that home. But
Hmm.
yeah, man, Court McGee, fuck, man, like I almost want him just to fucking, much like OG Bobby Green and a
Hmm.
couple other guys, right?
Hmm.
That just
Hmm.
fucking, everybody. I know it's your deal to want to be fucking champion or in contention or whatever, but like I almost wish everybody fucking stepped aside and let's see Court McGee against the champ and the one that who's it, Usman? Fuck it, let's
Hmm.
do it. Fuck it.
And he's gonna, yeah, he definitely has earned it. I mean, in over 10 years in the UFC, that alone should qualify him for an opportunity like that. But then we have a Leon Edwards who has 10 fights strung together.
Yeah, that's true.
Another one who's well deserving. So Port McGee, hang in there, keep winning, keep winning. I don't care how razor thin the wins are; it does not matter. Just keep stringing them together. You know what I'm saying? By the time you get to 4 or 5, they'll look at you in that manner. They will start looking at you as in someone who is worthy of being what do you call the people that sit on the sideline? An
Yeah,
alternate.
I
You
was
know what I
gonna say
mean?
bench
So
warmer.
yeah, bench warmer, alternate. Yeah, you know what we're talking about. Court McGee, he is eligible. He is eligible and quite worthy of that kind of position.
No, 100%. And it's, again, you talked about Leon Edwards and 10 fight win streak, but this is a guy who's fucking been in there with like literal champions, for the last decade plus, So
Hmm.
I don't know, but also the fucking UFC rankings are really squirrely any damn way. So I mean, it's not out of the vein of personality. The fact that Leon Edwards can do as much as he's done so far and still not get a fucking crack. Yes, he can call, COVID years and everything like that. That is absolutely true. But I'm just saying it's weird. It's weird. But also weird is the fucking mirror match that we had in fight number 4. We had
Yeah.
Jamie Pickett against Joseph Holmes, and they both
Mhm.
were braided and had shit in their hair.
Mhm.
But the Night Wolf, Jamie Pickett, coming away with the win, unanimous
Yeah.
decision. It was the Night Wolf against the Ugly Man, and I'm not making this shit up. Um, honestly,
Hey,
can I be honest, folks?
be honest. Be honest.
I could not tell either one apart. I couldn't. I fucking couldn't tell them apart. Big,
Yeah.
like similarly fucking built dudes with braids or braids rather. I could not tell them apart. So I was like, that person's winning. Oh, he's losing. I mean, what? That person's winning. Oh, he's losing. What the fuck? Yeah. So I literally relied on commentary for it. Um, McMack also said Adam wants an exhibition match with you, and Adam said an offline before you couldn't fight yourself out of a wet paper bag. That's what supposedly I said, according to Mick in Australia, that doesn't want Dirk Nowinski with a visa or something, right? Novak,
No
Novocaine,
fact.
Novocaine, Jojo Bitch, right? Like
So,
the chick in the Tomb Raider, Jojo Bitch, Mila Jojo Bitch, right? I don't know.
oh, hey, I gotta tell you, man, Brad Pickett, not Brad Pickett, Jamie Pickett, Brad Pickett, Jamie Pickett, Jamie Pickett, Jamie Pickett, Jamie Pickett. He immediately took command of that match. He took the center of the ring and he used excellent boxing to dominate his opponent for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. His opponent could not get the takedown, could not implement what he does best, which is grappling. Um, if you can't take your opponent to the ground, understand that your moniker, ugly man, will come true. And that was what happened at the end of the match. He got toe tagged. And you can see
Yeah.
by the looks of his face, he surely was ugly at the end of
Yeah,
that match.
you know what's hilarious about this? Like you're not wrong because I kept on calling his ass Brad One Punch Pickett, who's a flyweight in England, who's an Anglo gentleman, right? And that's just like how. I mean, it was very hard, right, to kind of fucking tell them apart or to separate. The fact that you look like the other guy you're fighting. It reminded me of Combate, where Heber Castillo fought Heinrich Wassemer, right?
Right.
And those two look the same. They look the fucking same, right? And I was like, I fucking don't know. Same hairstyle, same whatever. So that's what it looked like. And again, with you already look like the guy that you're another guy on the roster in your weight division, one, and you're fighting him, two, and you have the last name of a guy who has a little bit more notoriety than you, right? Because I can fucking picture Brad Pickett in my head, no problem. The fucking yodeling hat, the fucking, whatever. I can imagine Brad Pickett in my head, right? No, I don't think that's Brad Pickett. That's
That's not
Uncle
him?
Creaky. No, that's Ian McCall, Uncle
Oh,
Creaky.
right.
Yeah,
Right. Hey,
Brad
wasn't
Pickett.
Pickett the one that got knocked out by Sean O'Malley?
I
Slept him
believe
with that
so.
cross?
It might have been. It
I
might
believe
have
I
been.
believe so.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that all being said, you don't do much to fucking separate yourself, right? And again,
Mm-mm.
like they had the fucking same braids, folks. This shit reminded me when I saw them come out, right? The first one came out, I was like, it looks different than his Tapology picture. Okay, cool. When I saw the other one come out the fucking same, I was just like, oh, this shit looked like fucking Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston wearing the fucking same fucking dress to the MTV Video Music Awards like 20 years ago. Seriously. Like the same brown dress and they fucking looking at each other. Like nobody fucking like, hey, that dude might wear the same fucking hair as you. It might be all weird and shit like that. I don't know. So yeah. And then McMac also wants to know: was Bobby Lashley any good at MMA? He
Yeah,
was undefeated.
yeah, he's still undefeated. I mean,
Yeah.
he fight for some reason he only fights in the Indian casino.
Yes,
Huh?
you're not wrong. You're not
He
wrong.
only
Hell
fights in the
no.
Indian casinos. You know
Yeah.
what that means, right? Huh?
I mean, juice to the
Indian
gills.
casinos. Hmm?
Fucking Canelo horse meat, yo. Let's do it. Let's do
but
it.
but he did fight credible people,
Yeah.
not just
JW
some no
Kaiser is one
names.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he fought some good fighters,
Yeah.
some veterans,
Yeah.
people who are established in mixed martial arts. He fought some decent folks and he beat them.
Yeah.
Remember when he fought James Thompson? Is it not Josh
Josh.
Thompson?
Yeah. Exactly.
James Thompson or something like that, the English fella.
Yeah. The
Yeah, I
fucking
remember that.
what is he? Juggernaut, right?
Yeah, that guy. That guy.
Yeah.
He beat that
No.
guy too.
Yeah. Okay. So he's 15-2, but still 15-2, man.
Not bad.
That's a better. I mean, honestly, that's a better fucking record than Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar was a former UFC champion, right?
Hey,
So
Brock Lesnar was placed in the right place at the right time. That's why he became champion. Under any other circumstance, he wouldn't have become champion. I mean,
yeah,
you can't tell me that Bobby Lashley couldn't have done the same thing to
no,
an
exactly.
old little small man.
Yeah, and I think kind of traveling off a bit, but here's the thing: when Lashley was fighting, right? When Lashley was fighting, he was a member of the Impact or TNA roster, right? Or TNA was broadcast on Spike TV, also broadcast by Spike TV and owned by Viacom Network. The parent company of the channel was Bellator MMA. So of course you're gonna fucking do that because you're basically channel mates, right? And there's that. So I mean, let's just say if Impact for whatever reason was on Fox, right, or ESPN rather, right? You would definitely see Lashley do that, but obviously he's in the WWE, so they don't want to, I don't know, play around and shit and see what can get swirly. But Lashley, by all intents and purposes, is fucking a badass, And CM Punk was underrated in MMA. I mean, he's underrated.
Underrated.
It's
CM
Micmac.
Punk underrated.
Wait,
CM. Oh, he's
it's
joking around,
Micmac.
right?
He
He's
what
joking.
what you're doing in hook, line, sinker. You got it.
He got me.
Yeah,
He sure
Bischoff
got
was.
me.
You know what? Yeah, that's something that you, Voodoo Maximus, have with the WWE Hall of Famer and the inventor of the NWO, Eric Bischoff, have in common. That Micmac gotcha. So shout out to Micmac in Australia, man. Hope the tsunami and shit doesn't get you all tsunamied out. There you go.
Hey, I would have taken that CM Punk fight, man. Too easy. Too easy.
I mean, he's a great. Okay, if you want to talk about underrated in MMA, him on commentary at CFFC, not bad. He been John Morgan,
Not bad.
one of the fucking underrated fucking MMA teams. And again, he is a legit, I believe, purple belt in jiu-jitsu. With fucking Rufus Sport. So that you can't. Fucking Duke Rufus and the rest of his team aren't just fucking handing out fucking belts anywhere. You got to earn that shit. So shout out to CM Punk for doing it, And also, when he's in AEW, he rocks a CFFC shirt, and CFFC also has the grappling organization, Fury, right? Fury
Right.
grappling, almost like EBI and everything like that.
Right.
He on AEW television. Right, I'm wearing an AEW Ruby Soho shirt, but on AEW television, which theoretically has more eyeballs on it than any one thing on UFC Fight Pass. So the fact that he gets to rock UFC Fight Pass gear on AEW television, man, right on. Kudos to CM Punk. So just saying, that's just like everybody's hating on fucking Joe Rogan. When Joe Rogan is gone, you're gonna be like, I fucked up, man. Why did I fuck? Like this is Walter Cronkite. This is Dan Rather. any whoever in whatever region of the world that you're in, whatever your standard, like the predecessor of all media, right? You know, basically doing cage fighting, right? Like Rogan, yeah, I mean, he's not the first podcaster, but he is the most notable that gets fucking better views and better downloads at any major mainstream news media, left,
Yeah.
right, center, right?
Yeah.
So, with that
Yeah.
all being said, the fact that he, at least maybe once a month, 8 times a year, does fucking cage fight commentary. I don't care if
Yeah.
he fucking has shrooms on the fucking episode. You fucking
Yeah.
thank that man, because when he goes, y'all fucked up. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Hey, you just reminded me, man. There was a time, I believe in our last show of the year. I was talking about Joe Rogan sticking his hand in that water to grab those electric eels, and he was like, ah!
Yeah.
You know, he had some kind of issue with the girl grabbing it, so she was like, "Why don't you try it?" Right? So when he made that noise, kind of threw me off. I was like, "What the hell?" You know? But when I listen to him speak, man, when I listen to him speak about mixed martial art, man, he drew me back in. He drew me back in. I was talking that day, then I forgot what I was talking about. I don't know if you remember this. You
No,
remember that?
yeah, I
Remember this
remember.
happening?
I remember
Yeah,
the end of the
yeah.
year show. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, so that this is the finish. This is the finish. He's very knowledgeable about his craft. He's very knowledgeable. Yeah, he made a mistake challenging that girl to grab an eel and then making the sound he made. I'm willing to forgive him because he's done way more important things in this life than that one little mishap. So it's all
What
good.
the
Joe
fuck?
wrote. You can
I
look it up,
absolutely
man. You can
fucking
look
missed
it
it.
up.
He grabbed the fucking eel.
Yeah,
The
you can
hell?
look it up. And he was like,
Jesus
ah! He made this
Christ.
sound that threw me off, man. I was like, what a business. But then, he drew me back in with excellent commentary. This was the wrap up of our conversation that one day.
Right.
Excellent commentary, man. The man knows his business. He knows his business, and he brings excellent knowledge to the table, such that even you, as a brand new viewer, the way he breaks the sequences down that's happening right before your very eyes, even if you didn't know anything about mixed martial art, you can pick it up as he's breaking it down and understand exactly the significance of each position as they're happening. So shout out to Joe Rogan. I forgive you for that little sound you
Oh
made.
God, you gotta send me links. I gotta see this. And
I'll look it up.
Rogan's podcast is good, but no Adam Wood's good. I appreciate that, but I mean, I'm listening to fucking Rogan any fucking free time that I've got. So if he does that, or even fucking knows who I am, that'd be awesome. But it is what it is. And that's the thing. I don't have to be Rogan. Voodoo doesn't have to be John Anik, whatever. We all can be each other, right?
That's
We can
right.
be our authentic self, talking about the very things that we love. So absolutely reach up and grab that fucking proverbial brass ring, right? Not grass ring. That'd be weird. It'd be like a horse. Like, oh, I don't know. That kind of sounded like Rogan grabbing the eel with the girl. I have no idea.
Fear
But
Factor.
yeah,
On Fear Factor.
Fear Factor.
Look it
Oh,
up.
that's it. Okay, yeah,
Look it
okay.
up
Now
on
I
Fear
remember.
Factor.
I remember.
Yeah.
But they
Look it up on
they
Fear
also
Factor.
made people eat animal dick. So I mean, fucking PETA. Shout out to PETA, I guess. Right? That's. But speaking of shout outs, I guess we go to Senior Perfecto, Bill Algeo, in his win over Joe Anderson Brito. That's like, I don't know, Junior Dos Santos and Anderson Silva, all like fucking name generator, fucking, it's literally fucking. There we go. There we go. Can you hear that?
Hey.
That's Johansson Brito. Like, what the? Wow. Okay. Right on. But unanimous decision for Senor Perfecto.
Yes, and perfect he was too, because he had all the advantages, and he made very good use of his advantages to a T. To a T. The reach advantage was well used. the long range weapons were well used. His opponent understood that he had to break that center line and enter that next zone, right? So he can grab his opponent, Bill Algeo. But Billy was very, very good at defending that. He kept his distance. He kept jabbing. He kept throwing front kicks. Excellent, excellent defensive wrestling, and to bring things back to the feet. And he kept doing this for 15 minutes and earned himself a unanimous decision victory. It was what it was, like as I said. It was what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just glad that you're on the inside of Senior Perfecto. Yeah, we call him Senior Perfecto. Voodoo Maximus just calls him Billy. Oh, Billy. Uh, so there you go. Shout
First
out.
name basis.
Yeah, first name basis, because he's beyond the velvet rope. He is the private party, and not private. The party with the privates. Well, speaking of party with the privates, uh, Dakota Harry Bush. That's what we got. Dakota Harry Bush got fucking liver shot into the fucking like he was too busy protecting his bush that he fucking left his liver all out in the fucking open, and it took Vyacheslav Borachev. There you go. I'm gonna call him Vyakam Baryshnikov. Vyakam Baryshnikov. Just fucking liver shot the hell out of Dakota's Harry Bush.
Hey, it was quite early in the round. The key to victory here was immediate pressure. Immediate pressure forcing an opponent, Dakota Harry Bush, to the fence. And once he made it to the fence, he changed levels with the striking, took it to the body, landed on the liver, luckily, and that was that. That was all she wrote. I mean, when you hit a man in the liver for approximately 15 seconds, they're immobilized, and that's a long time in a fight to be immobilized. You know, some people can take it, but very few can take a liver shot and continue at a high rate. I mean, in boxing, when you take a liver shot, at least you have 10 seconds. And those 10 seconds vary depending on referee. You might see a referee that counts really fast or a referee that counts really slow or whatnot. In mixed martial arts, you get hit in the liver, the fight must go on and you keep getting smashed. And he smashed his opponent into submission. The liver shot was on point. It was quite beautiful. And it earned him, I believe, 50 G's.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe he got 50 G's for that. Yeah. Yeah, that was the first 50 G's of the day, I believe. Excellent start to the year by this Borshev fella. And sky's the limit. I hope to see him again.
Absolutely. I guess shout out to Mother Russia, because he definitely the Russian can. I don't know the official name for it, but shout out to the fancy footwork of Vyakam Baryshnikov is what I got. But what we also have is the only female women's MMA fight of the night. We had the blonde fighter, Caitlin Chikadze, against Jennifer Maia. I had Maia, basically beating the tar out of Caitlin Chikadze, and nothing about I'm not. It's not that I don't like Caitlin. I just didn't know who she was until literally beginning of 2021, and she had been in the UFC at least 2 to 4 years prior to that. Yeah, I mean, she's been in the UFC, God, since 2016, right?
Yes, yes.
So
Yes,
I
she
mean,
has.
I could not. I mean, prior to 2021, I could not tell Caitlin Chikadze from anyone else. And that's not. I wasn't aware, right? But she is somebody who has, you know, after not knowing who she was at the beginning of last year, I mean, she has a YouTube channel. She's sponsored. This, Caitlin Chikadze is somebody who, if you're an aspiring fighter, male or female, and want to know how to leverage your notoriety into doing something plausible, right, and something that will financially benefit not only yourself, your brand, and your family. I mean, Caitlin Chikadze is the prime example of of doing it. Like her social media game is on point. Her when she's not fighting, she's tweeting, she's doing stuff. She has her YouTube channel. She has sponsors. Like it's she has a cooking show on her YouTube channel that even if you don't know her as a fighter, well, if you're a foodie, you can jump all over. Like the prerequisite, you don't have to be an MMA fan to view her content. So shout out to
Mm-hmm.
her. And even more so, like this win over Jennifer Maya. I mean, again, I had Jennifer Maya to win. There was, I mean, literally, and you saw it in the post fight interview. Um, Caitlin, who had her husband, who's a pretty astute wrestler, help her with this training camp. And I mean, the punches, the getting in and out of dangerous situations, the slips. She basically drew blood on Jennifer Maya rather, a litany of times. She was quick to the punch. There were a couple glimmers of success from Jennifer Maya, but like it wasn't enough. I mean, if you're gonna let's just say you did a minute by minute analysis of it, 13 minutes of the fight was Caitlin Chikadze. 2 minutes was Jennifer Maya.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that assessment. I'm not mad at those numbers. She was extremely dominant. She was a taller person. She had all the reach advantage. Very good jiu-jitsu. So does her opponent. Excellent striking. So was her opponent. But one thing that she did was she utilized her strengths. She utilized her strength. Those straight punches and those snapping kicks, oh, so beautiful they were. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Jennifer Maya attempted to close the distance, but she was like, no, 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 no. My arms are long for a reason, right? The streets were made for walking, or the shoes are made for walking, and that's what I'm gonna do. These long arms are made for snapping, and she snapped all day long. Front kicks, straight punches, ones and twos. Everything was just beautiful. Firing on all cylinders. When it went to the ground, she did what she had to do to get back up. She tried to take the back. She was aggressive on the ground. When she was on her feet, she controlled the distance the entire time. And excellent striking by her. She won the match by unanimous decision. I had no problem with that. She got on the mic and let everyone know that she's okay to fight anyone at any time, which is good. And her contract is up. Her contract is up. So what you're gonna do, Caitlin? What you're gonna do, Shakugian? What's coming next? Are you gonna go somewhere else, or are you gonna stay? That is to be answered.
That is, yeah, absolutely. Now as we're on the topic of women's MMA. Mick Mac wants to know Sonya Deville, or was she good at MMA? And funny that you should ask that, Mick Mac, because here we go. We're going over to Tapology, one of the many sites that we use to kind of
Yes.
fact check stuff on fights and everything like that, right? But here we go. We have the U of MMA page back of 20, I want to say it's 2015, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just the Jersey Devil, Daria, who faces Jasmine Tapat Queen Pouncy.
Pouncey.
Right. So there she is. She was 2-1 in her MMA. Actually, I'm sorry. Her I believe her record, because she didn't. I don't believe she got out of the amateur. So
Oh.
her amateur career stands at 2-1, right?
Mm.
But this is kind of fun, right? Because a little bit up, right? She fought on the 11th fight on the card, and
I'm on that card too.
well, I was going to get to that. So before that, after Daria, fight 14 is a gentleman named Shyler Andrews, who you know as Scorpio Sky of AEW
Scorpio
fame,
Sky.
right?
Hey,
So,
hey, let me tell you something.
okay,
Let me
let's
tell you
go with the
something.
Scorpio Sky story.
So we're in the back, right? And I can't remember who it was came to interview Scorpio Sky. So they were like, so Scorpio Sky, how do you plan on beating Lance Bush or so a question like that? He was like, it's gonna be like a shotgun blast to the head. we were like, what the hell? And then he got his ass whooped. Shotgun blast to the head. We were dying. It was so funny.
No, I mean, we're not trying to throw shade on Scorp. Scorp's a good guy.
Shout
But
out
yeah,
Scorpio.
that aforementioned Lance Bush fight, there you go. That was his only loss, was to Lance Bush at U of MMA. But when you go into the U of MMA, card, right? Guess who has a fight above both Scorpio Sky and Sonya Deville? One Pius Enola Lobo, Voodoo Maximus. There you go.
That's right.
Right?
That's right, man. That's right. And what a day that was. What a day. Was that Julio Lopez, I believe? Yep. Julio Lopez. Man, I try to pancake Julio Lopez. You see how a human body is, the way it looks? Well, I try to flatten that dude through that floor, man, but he just wasn't gonna budge. He wasn't gonna budge. I tried to smash him right through that floor a couple of times. But, the dude was tough. He's a wrestler by nature. So he just wouldn't go away. He wouldn't go away. But I don't believe he had a fight after me, man. Check his record. Did he ever fight after me?
Nope, he didn't.
Yeah, that was it. I think I won that battle.
I mean, honestly, that's... No, actually, he did. Actually, at UMMA, Antonio Lopez, and it was a losing effort.
Oh yeah, that's right. He fought once more. That's it. But that was it. That was it. I think he had to stop due to injuries or something like that. Because I'm telling you, man, I tried to crush his spine and everything. I mean, I didn't hate the guy. I just wanted to win so bad because it was a tournament. Christ. It was a 4-man tournament. It was a 4-man tournament, and I wanted to get to the title. It was what it was. He was in my way, man, and I had to smash him. So I guess it is what it is.
Jesus
Shout out
Christ.
to Julio Lopez, by the way.
Yeah. When you wanted to fucking smash their spine into the fucking canvas. Yeah, shout out to Julio Lopez, man. Wherever you are, I hope you're well. With your spine still not in the fucking canvas at the Nokia Theater in downtown LA, is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's where we are. But also where we are is we have Brandon Royval, former UFC flyweight title contender, right, against Rodrigo Bontorin, right? And this one was Royval. I mean, in terms of decisions, right? This was a little bit closer than the decisions in previous, because the decision previous, they were all unanimous decision. This is actually the first and only split decision. It wasn't just all Royval, but Royval did enough to cement himself as the winner in this contest. Do you agree with the decision here?
1,000%. 1,000%. I knew Royval was going to win because of his tenacity. Royval, he comes in the first round, established range immediately. Beautiful striking, excellent kicks, excellent front kicks. Those snapping kicks, Royval, I see you've been working. You've been working really hard. I see excellent striking against a durable Rodrigo Bontorin. Bontorin is a beast. His grappling, his wrestling, everything is on point. Guaranteed he is a future contender as well. It's just unfortunate that these two contenders had to meet at such an early stage. I would have liked to see this fight and when they're like at 4 and 5, you know what I'm saying? But hey, lucky us because we got to see it quite early. Royval, he lacks power. The way he lacks power, he's got heart and tenacity of will and indomitable spirit. Relentless. He keeps coming. He is the Terminator, or human Terminator. He will not stop until you are dead. And that's what he showed the judges in the third round. First round, I give it to Royval. Second round, dominant. dominant Rodrigo because he controlled the entire match. He had Royval fighting off his back the entire time. I mean, first and second round. He had him fighting off his back. But Royval, man, the man is relentless, man. He's so flexible and he keeps grabbing this Gogo Plata. He goes for the Gogo Plata. When the Gogo Plata is not there, he uses the Gogo Plata to put pressure on Rodrigo's shoulders. Now, Rodrigo has a choice to make. Are you going to stay there and be submitted, or are you going to loosen up and limp arm out of there? And that's what he kept doing. He limps arm out of there, and then the fight continued. Royval, man, what an animal. What a savage. I love everything he did in this matchup, man. He got the submission, if you ask me, because I saw my man tap. You know what I mean? He only tapped once or twice, but the referee didn't see it, and that's not his fault. That's not Rodrigo's fault. He did tap. I saw the tap. It was what it was. But what stood out was Brandon Royval in that last 2 or so minutes or 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? He got the reverse. He got into side control, and then he let it rain. He let the bows rain. Throw them bows, like Ludacris will say. He let those bows rain, man. He finished that match in a dominant fashion, such that if this was reality, Rodrigo was on his way to death because Royval was not slowing down. None whatsoever. Now, let me tell you something, Brandon Royval. After your match, you jumped on the mic and you started apologizing. At first, I thought to myself, what's he apologizing for? What's he apologizing for? Right? But I'm going to give you advice from an older fella to a young fella, Brandon Royval. You did absolutely nothing wrong, my brother. You did nothing wrong. Everything you did was perfect. Not only perfect, your opponent is a top-level fighter. The fact that you were able to do the things that you did against Bontorin, come on, man. You have nothing to apologize about. You went for the kill for 15 minutes. If it was a 25-minute match, I believe you would have won because your stock continued to rise the entire match. Yeah, he clipped you a couple of times. Hey, man, you're going to get clipped when you are a seek and destroy type fella. The pressure that you brought, you kept this dude on his heel, but he himself is no pushover. He can fight moving backwards. Rodrigo can fight moving backwards. His timing impeccable. But your use of your range, oh my God, Brandon Royval, the future is here. The future is here, and everyone needs to take notice. So, Royval, you owe nobody no apology. I will recommend for you more positive affirmation. Instead of saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I would rather you said, hey, man, he was holding me like for dear life because he understood what was coming. So he had to hold for dear life and hang on to me. You know, I would rather you say something like that than down your own stock, because you got to understand, most of the people that are watching don't understand what's going on, right? Only a few of us understand the hard work that you put forth. But they do see this guy holding you. He wasn't doing any damage when you were on the ground. He did no damage. That's why your face is nice and clean. After 15 minutes of a fight like that, your face is still clean. That means you were the one doing all the hard work. So therefore, Brandon Royval, you don't need to apologize to nobody. You're the one that went in there and risked your life. You know what I'm saying? You owe no one any apology, especially if you're performing at the top level that you're performing, my brother. Keep it up, Brandon Royval. Excellent win. I thought it was unanimous, but hey, we'll let the judges call what they want to call. You the man, Brandon Royval. You the man. Raw dog in the house. Let's go.
Baby, hold on to me. Whatever will be, and nobody, baby. That's what I got. That's yeah, absolutely. Because you were like, oh, Bontarin was holding on to him, so I thought Eddie Money, and I'm like, you got nobody to apologize to. I was like,
No.
Keith Sweat, fucking Keith Sweat. So listen to more Eddie Money and Keith Sweat, everyone, especially Brandon Royval, our friend of the show. So there you go. And you know what? In terms of Royval trying to beat Bontorin, as well as you trying to smash the skull of Julio into the U of MMA canvas, McMack says you should have used the low blow. And funny that you say that. Funny that you say that because in his WrestleMania kind of campaign, right? None other than the king of strong style himself, a 3-1-1 record coming by way of K1 of all places, K1 Dynamite and Jungle Fight. You know, the premier Brazilian promotion that has spanned, the careers of Anderson Silva, Chris Cyborg. I mean, literally any Junior Dos Santos, anybody that's Brazilian that you think is a badass, fought in Jungle Fight, and as did Shinsuke Nakamura. And he fights AJ Styles at WrestleMania as a rematch of their amazing New Japan Wrestle Kingdom matches and fights. And guess what? And all you do for Shinsuke Nakamura, a guy who has a legit fucking MMA background, is give him low blows. Fuck you, WWE. That's why I don't watch anymore. God damn it. So there you go. So with that all being said, right, we got the big boys, big boys. We have Jake Collier and what's the other gentleman's name? Fuck.
Chase Sherman.
Chase Sherman in the co-main events of the evening, right? But Jake Collier finishes this one in the only submission of the night, which, I mean, theoretically, nobody's thinking that was a submission, right? Chase Sherman got cracked, and Collier with all of the girth, right? And it was weird because I believe it was Michael Bisping. Shout out to the UFC Hall of Famer Michael the Count Bisping, former UFC champion. But he was talking about how Chase Sherman started out as a middleweight and then went up to heavyweight. I mean, light heavyweight and then heavyweight, right? Man, he should have been heavier because Collier just fucking laid waste to him. Jesus Christ, man. Man, I just that farm boy strength, man. It's like Chase Sherman didn't have anything. Like, he was just so much bigger. Collier was so much fucking bigger than Sherman. And I'm not saying Sherman isn't a astute mixed martial artist, but I mean, I remember Michael Bisping talking about when Jake Collier had Chase Sherman in a side control, right? And it was against the cage, and all the girth of Collier was like basically laying waste to Sherman, and Sherman's feet were against the cage, and it's like, you just need a fucking blast and fucking push against the cage, and he did it once and it was like a blip on the radar, and he did it twice, but fucking Collier, I mean, was just too girthy for Chase Sherman. So I say all that to say, I mean, maybe either put on more weights, right, or maybe just settle out at light heavyweight, because I think it was one almost like the Israel Adesanya Jan Blachowicz fight, where Blachowicz was just so big, right? I think it would have been a more competitive fight if Chase Sherman had a little more size on him to kind of thwart the sheer and raw power of Jake Collier. Am I wrong?
You're giving Mr. Sherman way more credit than he deserves, and that's just the bottom line. Chase Sherman, I've come to the conclusion after what I saw last night. I've come to the conclusion that he is not UFC material. He doesn't have what it takes to survive in these shark-infested waters. Jake Collier, on the other hand, is a well-balanced mixed martial artist, as he showed you. The match started boxing. You want to box? Let's box. You want to box? Let's wrestle. You want to box? Let's box. They box. Jake Collier was better. You want to kick? Let's kick. Jake Collier was better. Collier's like, you know what, man? This dude's an amateur. I'm not gonna waste any more of my time on this fella. I'm not gonna risk getting injuring my hand on this dude. No. If he throws another kick, I'm gonna catch it and take him down. And that was exactly what he did. He caught the left kick. He caught the left kick, pushed him to the ground, took the side control, like you said. Eventually, taking mount, dropped some beautiful elbows, surfed his opponent. He grounded and pounded his opponent so much that his opponent didn't like it, so he wanted to turn. So what do when you have an opponent who wants to turn their back, who wants to volunteer their back? You let them. You give them the space. You give them enough rope to hang themselves. So Mr. Chase Sherman turns around. He sinks his hook in. Collier did, and he took the neck. It was that simple. This is how the blueprint to finishing folks. When you have full mount, you smash the face in with punches and elbows. When they don't like that anymore, they're gonna turn their back. And when they do, you sink that right in there, and so be it. The rear naked choke was sunken in. You tapped them, you finished them, and then we have Justin Tafa talking about, yo, I want to be next. Jake Collier being the Don that he is, Don Collier, right? He went in there and he was like, yo, I'll take that match. Granted, you, fat boy, granted, you can make the weight. I like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of jib jab in this one too. And I mean, you're not wrong about Sherman, or as Mick Mac likes to say, the Shermanator. There you go. Uh, and the reason why I say it, yes, Sherman, up to this point is still a UFC fighter, but prior to him being in the UFC, he was essentially going back and forth between island fights in Hawaii and BKFC, or Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, right? And with Island, I mean, and this is his second run with the promotion, right? You got to remember, this is somebody who was in the UFC for a long stint from 2016 all the way up into 2018, where he loses to Augusto Sakai, and then it basically does island fights, wins over Frank Tate, Jeremy May, and then goes to BKFC, draw to Shoemaker and Rashawn Jackson, and then the wins over Arnold Adams in BKFC, and then losing to BKFC heavyweight champion, the Mexicutioner, Joey Beltran. Right, he loses a unanimous decision there, but goes on a second run in the UFC against Hurricane Ike Villanueva, where he wins in a second round TKO. So yeah, this might be the Vanilla Gorilla's last sabbatical in the UFC. Last stat, going 1-3 in the second round with the promotion. You know, hate to see it happen, but you might be right. I might have given Chase Sherman way too much credit. And then also, I mean, if you're going to be out and finish, I mean, you got a co-main event of a fight night card. So hopefully there's a couple more zeros at the end of the decimal than there would be otherwise. But I don't know. The UFC is kind of secretive with how they pay out. But at the very least, you have a performance of the night going to Collier. Again, you don't get it. Your opponent does for finishing you. So bye bye. One Chase Sherman.
Hey,
Good luck in your future endeavors, as the WWE likes to say. So
and, and,
you go ahead.
and for the record, you weren't the only one that picked Chase Sherman. I picked this dude as well
Yeah.
because I underestimated Jake Collier. And Jake,
Yeah.
I owe you an apology. I owe you an apology. You are a well-balanced mixed martial artist. Yes, you used to be thin, and now you're around. It's okay. You're doing things. You're doing things. You're not gonna let some low-level fighter come through and do anything like use you as a stepping stone. So shout out to Jake Collier, Jake the Don Collier. That's my new name for you. You've established that, and keep Keep winning. Keep fighting a good fight, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. And McMack says, what Collier did to Sherman is what Conor McGregor did to Mayweather. Toyed with him. Maybe not, but I know where you're going with it. So shout out to you, McMack. And should Hunt get Mark Hunt, the Super Samoan, get a payout because Lesnar got caught with drugs in the system? I say absolutely so, but I don't have the you know leverage or whatever to weigh in on things like that. I hope so. I mean, there's a lawsuit that's happening. Uh, where it goes, nobody knows. I don't know. UFC is in a position where they can just throw money at things. So if they want to drag out a litigation or whatever, much like WWE and Jerry McDivitt, where you've got a in-house fucking lawyer, who knows what can happen. And it's not just like a UFC lawyer. The UFC's parent company is the largest talent agency in the known world in the WME or William Morris Endeavor. So with that all being
Hmm.
said, uh, good luck to Hunt because it's going to be a fucking long ride. That's assuming they didn't already settle the case because I remember something happening of it, but I can't remember which. So there's
Oh,
that.
I know what happened. I know what happened. The contract that he signed with the UFC had a special clause in it, and the clause says if you are to sue the company and it doesn't go your way, you are gonna pick up the bill. So now Mark Hunt owes the UFC $400,000 in court costs that must be paid. Uh, it's still in deliberation. It's not finalized yet, but right now it's looking bad. Uh, he is not equipped to take on this corporation. He's just one man. Um, People have to back him up, and until they do, this types of event will continue to happen.
Yeah. But speaking of events, we are at the main events of the evening. And shout out to Bruce Buffer for just being awesome. But uh I think he said, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what I'm gonna go with. But we have uh the the cartel, right? The New England cartels. Uh, I almost said Calvin Cater against Georgia. It's Giga Chikadze. Chikadze. There you go.
Chikadze.
Chikadze. Like Yahtzee, but Chikadze. Yeah, there you go. But Cater, man. I mean, Giga was winning this fight. Maybe in the vein of his teammate that's fooling around with a what's your face, uh, Cheyenne something, right?
Bays, the
Yeah,
Bays
well,
one.
it's not Baze anymore. She's
Oh, Saltier or
Vlismas or
some shit.
something or whatever.
Some shit.
Um,
Blissmas, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
Vlismas.
Blissmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Christmas, but Vlismas. Because she's messing with the other Georgian fellow that may or may not be a countryman with Jiga, the ninja. But it's weird because the first two rounds of the fight, you could have said, well, I mean, would you have said it was Chikadze first two rounds?
Uh, the first 2 rounds of the match, I was like, oh no, the boss dude already figured him out. That's what I saw. That's what I
Really?
saw. Yup, yup.
Okay.
Though Chikadze was landing, you could tell as the match progressed into the second round. Okay, Cater is in it for 25 minutes. He's not fighting a 3 minute round, a 3 minute fight. I could see this happening right before my very eyes. Even though I picked the Georgian fella to win this match because he had all the tools, he had all the kicks, he had all the kickboxing experience. Uh, Allegedly, on paper, he was the more equipped striking wise. But sometimes it's not about striking. It's not just about the strike, the specific type of striking. Sometimes it's about that internal fortitude. like Mick Foley will say, internal fortitude. Calvin Kattar brought that forth. He brought that forth. Since we saw him last fighting Max Holloway a year ago, he came back and he delivered a beautiful, beautiful destruction. He took some shots in the beginning, but he was never relentless in his pursuit of happiness. He kept cutting them off. He kept pressing them. He kept pushing them back. And what happens when you do this to a fella? You take away his kicks. You take away his kicks. Jigga never got set. Never got set. Yes, he moved around, which limited the amount of damage he took. He took some damage, but trust me, it could have been a whole lot worse. It could have been a whole lot worse. Jigga, okay. What I saw was Calvin Kattar, slipping into free flow. Slipped into free flow. As soon as Jigga turned his back, that for a split second, he took his back immediately, took him to the fence, scooped him up, slammed him on the ground, and he kept him there. Immediately, we saw where the match was going. It's going to be a long match for Jigga Chikadze. That's where that match was going. Now there's a fear of the ground because Kattar put this in his mind. Now he doesn't want to go to the ground. Now he's flustered. Now that he's flustered, his gas tank is affected because now he is not in control of how he burns his gas tank. His opponent is with that pressure, and implanting in his mind an opportunity for a takedown that you cannot get up from. Because as you can see, once Kattar took him down, he stayed down for the rest of that round. And then the second round. And then the third round. And then the fourth round. Now, Kattar's like, okay, the pressure is not going to stop. I've caught my stride. Now let's get this guy. Let's take him out. And he went in for the kill. He punched him so much that his hands started hurting, so he started using his elbows. The elbows, the spinning elbows, the timing. He had Chikadze down pat. Now, what do we know about Chikadze? Not much lateral movement. He escapes laterally, but there are no lateral attacks. No lateral attacks. It's either straight forward, straight back, run left, run right. He's a linear fighter. He'll blitz you and bring great power, great kicks, excellent striking, but he lacks flow. So what Chikadze has been doing up until this point, I figured it out in this match, was he had been powering his way into flow state, into free flow. He doesn't really free flow. He takes it. He takes free flow. And when you take free flow, it's almost like robbing a bank. Sooner or later, man, the feds are going to get you. Sooner or later, the feds are going to get you. And Boston Fighter, or whatever his name is, he was the feds, man. You know what I mean? He was Al Pacino in Heat. He was Al Pacino in Heat, and he was able to secure the victory by excellent pressure, beautiful boxing, beautiful kickboxing, excellent wrestling. What we saw was Calvin Kattar accessing free flow through any means possible. He was flowing so well that he used all tools in regards to mixed martial arts to win this match. And he looked phenomenal as he did it. Shout out to Calvin Kattar. Welcome back. Now, I will tell you this. What Calvin Kattar did to Jigga Chikadze, I don't think he can do to Yair Rodriguez. I just don't think so. I see Yair Rodriguez beating him on the feet. I don't know what will happen on the ground, But lateral movement is the anti-boxing. If you can attack laterally with your strikes, then you have something coming. But Chikadze was unable to do this, which was his greatest Achilles heel in this matchup. Kattar was able to cut him off, and when he escaped laterally, there was no counter in the lateral realm, and that's a huge hole when you fight someone as knowledgeable as Calvin Kattar. Uh, when he fought Max Holloway, if you go back and watch that match, every time Max Holloway escaped laterally, there was some kind of offense in that lateral state. So Chikadze, go back to the drawing board, figure it out. Gotta loosen up a bit more. There's a tension. There's a tension to your method, and I don't know. Maybe meditation will help you. Maybe meditation will help you. But he's capable of reaching free flow. He's capable. But will he get there? It's all in here.
It's it's all in here. It's all in here. Uh McMax says cost Australia 1 million. Is that Australian dollars or US to keep Novak out with lawyer fees? So
Wow.
there you go. I
That
mean,
means Micmac is paying for that.
yeah. I'm sorry, McMac. You're paying for the McMac is paying for the Novak, not to get the Vax. Oh, there's a like a 1980s 16 bars right there. Uh, but yeah, so that is the UFC's very first fight of the fight card of 2022. There's a lot of interesting things shaping up. The LFA is back at it again next Friday night to basically have their first fight card of the year. The fight season is essentially starting right now. And then obviously UFC 270, Ngannou versus Ngan, and the rematch of Davidson Figueiredo, the former UFC flyweight champion, against one Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno, right?
Hmm.
The current
Hmm.
UFC flyweight champion. It is going to be amazing, and I just realized that this is going down in right down the road in Anaheim. So it's a local show for us. I'm not
Yep.
going.
Me
Um,
neither.
yeah, yeah, I'm good. And not to say that the card is bad or whatever. You know, sometimes viewing a UFC is actually better at home because you get the commentary, you get Rogan, you get all of that stuff in your ear. Where in the live crowd, you really don't. You're
Hmm.
essentially a glorified seat filler, and you're paying
Hmm.
top dollar for that ticket. So
To sit
the
in the
holidays are
rafters.
tough, huh?
Top dollars to sit in the rafters. I can't do
Pretty
that.
much, yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that there aren't exciting matches in this card. We actually get a couple of local mainstays, and I say local in the Southern California region, fighters that have either been in the California fight scene or at the very least trained. You have
Hmm.
the former LFA flyweight champion, the inaugural LFA flyweight champion, Little Monster Vanessa Demopoulos
Yep.
against Silvana Gomez Juarez. You have former LXF bantamweight champion winning that title over Albert Warrior, the Belizean Warrior Morales, another
Yep.
UFC veteran, but
Yep.
UWF USA's Victor Henry, the protege
Hmm.
of the former UFC champion Josh Barnett, facing Raoni Barcelos, which is a
Hmm.
match that should have happened at the last fight of the UFC calendar year. But Victor Henry unfortunately tested positive for COVID, so we're running that back at this card. We also have Kay Hansen, who's out of. I mean, this is just a short drive down the road for Kay Hansen because she is
Yep.
based in the Orange County, California region, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
she's fighting the Canadian Jasmine Juice Davisis.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have some, kind of COVID notables like Tony Gravely and what
Yep.
have you. Wellington Turman. I
Mm-hmm.
think the co-main event. I mean the third from the main event, the Cody Stamen versus Saeed Nurmagomedov.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be
Mm-hmm.
fucking interesting as all fuck, man. And then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we've obviously got the co-main event of Brandon the Assassin Baby Moreno against Davidson Deus De Guerra or God of War. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that is the first of the third fight in their trilogy, and then we have the unification of the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Cyril Bon Gamin, the
Boom, I
UFC
mean.
interim champion and undefeated in MMA, against the lineal UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou,
Mm-hmm.
16-3
Mm-hmm.
rep in Cameroon. This one's going to be a crazy, crazy fucking fight. I can't wait. So that means you got to check it with us on Thursday for more Voodoo in the Woods. So we're going to break this down as only we can. And again, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods Facebook page, YouTube page, as well as the simulcast on bodyslam.net. That is
Yeah.
exactly what's going on, right? And for those who can't get enough of Voodoo Maximus and want more of you, where can they find you, good sir, on social media?
You definitely can look on YouTube and find me there. Facebook page, Voodoo Maximus. Instagram, Voodoo Maximus. Twitter, Voodoo Maximus. Snapchat, Voodoo Maximus. You know what I'm saying? Just type in Voodoo Maximus and I will be there like Candyman.
I don't know. That was like a car revving up. I don't know what the fuck that was. But I'm According to Woods, where you can find me and the podcast. The principal podcast is According to Woods on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Uh,
Yep,
coming to you live and theoretically free. I mean, it costs me; it's come to you. So I'm just saying,
yep.
issue the subscription or a follow my way. Instagram as well is yeah, According to Woods. Twitter is According to Woods, and again, there's the According to Woods Facebook page. Go ahead and shoot a follow and a subscription there. And while you're following and subscribing, again, uh, Voodoo in the Woods Facebook and YouTube page, as well as the bodyslam.net YouTube page is where you can find this very show. And especially in the Body Slam universe, there's a litany of amazing shows. So we've got WWE and AEW fight predictions. We've got the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. There's so much that is coming to you, and this very show is one of the many things. So go ahead and shoot that subscription over. But this is it. We will see you next week. Actually, this coming week. Thursday night at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for more Voodoo in the Woods as we take on UFC 270. Bam!